It's Brian Preston, the Money Guy.
The Straw Knight has a question. He says, I've managed my portfolio for 30 years, and now that I'm 5 years from retirement, should I consider using a financial advisor? What do you guys think?
But I love how you kind of talk about 3 times people ought to consider. And this one Straw Knight's question sounds a lot like one of those 3.
Sure.
Do you mind going over those 3?
Yeah, so we think when it comes time to hire a financial advisor, there's usually 3 inflection points that you hit. Either 1, the size of your portfolio, the size of your dollars, the size of your decisions has gotten so big you recognize there could be huge repercussions. You know, early on in your working career, if you make a financial boo-boo and it's a boo-boo on $1,000, it might not change your life. Later on, if you make a boo-boo on $1 million, that could be substantial. That could change things. The second thing is, as we age and as our financial circumstances change, they tend to get more complicated. You know, back in the day, maybe you could do your tax return in an hour on April 14th. And now all of a sudden you see your tax return, you don't understand half the stuff that's on it. It doesn't make any sense to you. And now your compensation is different and your benefits are different. Now you got to go get estate documents and your financial circumstance just gets complicated, and you want to make sure you understand what all those things are and you have all of your I's dotted and your T's crossed. That's sort of the second inflection point. And then the third inflection point, I think this is one that happens to all of us as well. We just get busy with social commitments and family commitments and work commitments and all these other things pulling on us. It's not incredibly difficult for our financial matters to fall on the back burner. And you begin recognizing, man, that thing that I was going to do last week turned into, I didn't do it last month or last quarter or last year. Holy cow, I haven't done that very important financial thing that I need to do. So if you find yourself in one of those 3 positions, or maybe you're in a combination of those, that's a really solid indicator that perhaps you're at the stage where it makes sense to take the relationship to the next level.
Well, I think like Straw Knight said, he's 5 years from landing the airplane into retirement. And that's the point where you probably do need to start stress testing to make sure the retirement that you're anticipating will be that good, you know, even with systematic risk of returns, of where we are in the market cycle. Nothing that is going to blind you and derail your long-term financial success. It's also one of those things where I think, and this is different, if you're looking for just asset allocation help, there's a gazillion people that do that, but you will get to a point where you need a real financial planner, because retirement actually gets somewhat complex. Absolutely. But even beyond just the stress testing of giving you a probability of how good your success is, you're going to find out that, hey, in retirement, maybe you want to turn some of those tax-deferred dollars, the employer money and so forth, into Roth dollars. So you got to do a Roth conversion strategy. That's going to have tax ramifications. And then that's even going to have an impact on Social Security. That's going to have an impact on Medicare premiums. All this stuff is floating around out there. It goes way beyond, you know, just, hey, can somebody give me an asset allocation? Because even the asset allocation might need to be tax allocated, meaning that different accounts hold different type of assets. So you're the most efficient version of yourself in retirement. That stuff is the part that I always say heavy lifting does start really happening in retirement, because then it also leans into the estate planning. And there's just a lot of stuff that I think, you're probably Straw Knight. If you're 5 years from retirement and you've been saving and investing for 30 years, I got to believe you're probably at that critical mass point that there's enough resources there that let's make sure you have a co-pilot, that CFO that kind of works with you as the CEO of your personal financial life, to maximize and protect you from the blind spots that you just don't even are aware of yet.
Brian, you have this great line about, you know, when someone's approaching retirement, they get to do it once. Yeah. But when you hire a financial advisor, you're actually getting something more than that. You're actually hiring someone who's maybe done hundreds of retirements, maybe helped tons of people work through that. So very often it can be really good money spent to make sure you're gathering someone else's expertise who's helped people in a very similar situation to you cross over that threshold. Now, obviously, we think if you're going to hire a financial advisor, you should reach out to us at aboundwealth.com, because we have the absolute best financial planning team in the entire world. However, if you're out there and you're just thinking, I want to go vet this on my own, I want to go find someone on my own, we have a tool you can use. Go to moneyguy.com/resources and download our questions you can ask a financial advisor. No matter who you sit down with, whether there's someone in your hometown or someone that you know or a referral from a friend, ask them these questions. They ought to be able to very clearly explain to you their answers for each one to help you make sure you're hiring someone who's going to help you navigate this very important transition that you're about to walk through in the next 5 years.